Okay, liberals, since you guys are so entitled and you never ask the question, why should anybody on the left vote for us? I'll ask it for you. Why should anybody on the left, progressive or leftist, who participates in electoral politics, vote for the Democratic Party when this trash bag party can't stop, won't stop, constantly fucking over the left and undermining the progressives? Tell me why Minnesota voted to endorse Omar Fateh only to rescind his endorsement after the piece of shit current mayor Jacob Frey, along with working with MAGA donors, worked to intimidate the people who voted to rescind the endorsement. Here's a leaked video call of a woman that was working for Jacob Frey's super PAC admitting that they were holding a bunch of checks that they were going to withhold unless the DFL overturned its endorsement of Fateh. Openly admitting that they're extorting and bribing the Democratic Party to reject the will of the people and abandon Omar Fateh. As this guy correctly points out, what is happening in Minneapolis is an even more naked version of what's happening in New York right now. Never forget, the Democratic Party went to court and successfully defended their right to ignore the will of Democratic voters and control the outcome of their own primary. Funny how the party that loves to use identity politics is undermining two men of color in order to prop up white Zionists. What happened to your commitment and your concern to marginalized voices and communities, Democrats? It's almost like you're full of shit. Interesting how you guys are willing to use the same dog whistles and tactics as the fascist right as soon as your donors, your liberal billionaire Zionist donors, tell you to. How many times have we seen this happen? Where a progressive candidate wins, like he won the endorsement of the DFL, and then they turn around and go, you know what? We don't like that he's progressive. We don't like that he's pro-Palestine. We don't like that he's not a corporate ghoul shill like Jacob Frey. So you know what? We're just going to withhold the checks. We're just going to rescind his endorsement. We're just going to overturn the will of the people. And Jacob Frey, that fucking hack in Minneapolis, the current mayor, is using racism and xenophobia to try to create a new voter fraud narrative in order to undermine him. And would you look at that? You got racist, white supremacist Islamophobes like Charlie Kirk celebrating it. The right wing was all over this yesterday being like, oh look, Democrats had to admit there were voting irregularities. There weren't. Jacob Frey was just lying. And then he's like, was that cheating or was it just Somali-style democracy? You get it? You get it? Because I'm racist and xenophobic and he's Somali. Which, by the way, he's American. He was born in fucking Washington, D.C., bitch. But that doesn't matter to them. They're so fucking racist and xenophobic. They're like, no, who gives a shit if he was born here? He's Somali. And this clown, the same one that bowed down on his knees and did fake crying at George Floyd's funeral, was more than happy to help spread these racist lies about Omar Fateh. So I guess my question is not just for liberals, it's also for the left too and the progressives. For the liberals, the question is, why the fuck should we ever vote for you bitches when all you do is undermine the left and attack the left? This is literally too true. The Democrats will viciously fight against their own base. They will viciously fight against their own voters and their own progressive flank. But then when it comes to actually fighting fascists or fighting the right, all of a sudden they're weak and they don't know how to fight. Every fucking time. So again, why should anybody on the left vote for you bitches when all you do is cheat in primaries and undermine the progressive candidates at every turn? That you have a fucking lion's fight in you when it comes to attacking your left flank, but then when it comes to empowering right-wing fascists, all of a sudden you guys are snowflakes and don't know how to have a fight. And then to my fellow lefties, to my fellow progressives, why are we voting for a party that continually spits in our faces and tells us that they hate us? This is unacceptable what they're doing to Omar Fateh. And it's just the latest example. How many times have they done this? They're doing it to Zoran right now with refusing to endorse him, trying to help Andrew Cuomo, not telling Andrew Cuomo to drop out, and encouraging him to keep his third party run while attacking Zohran Mamdani instead of focusing on attacking Trump. They did it to India Walton. They did it to Bernie Sanders. They did it to Marie Newman. They've done it time and time. They did it to Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush. They do it time and fucking time again, every single time there is a progressive. So the question becomes, at what point people on the left and progressives are we going to get the message? They literally hate the left. They literally despise the left. They would rather, evidenced by every single fucking thing we see, and this is just the latest, they would rather have a fascist in power than somebody on the left. Fateh is a democratic socialist. He is pro-Palestine. That's why they hate him. They would rather have a fascist Republican. They are more comfortable with fascist Republicans than they are with democratic socialists or people who are left and progressive. That is a fucking fact, evidenced by every fucking action they take. When are you gonna stop letting the party manipulate you and bully you and actually stand up and demand something and fight back? So again, I ask, why do we continue to stay in this abusive relationship? This party is constantly telling us that they despise us. When are we gonna start listening?